All right, well, we will go ahead and get started. Well, hello to everyone and welcome. My name is Michelle Fletcher and I am the academic recruiter for the college. Thank you all for sharing an hour of your time with us this evening, giving us this space to talk with you about the programs and opportunities at CVCC. Now, over the next hour, we will be talking with you about the application process, financial aid, onboarding, which is basically how to get started, and student life. Now we have a special guest with us this evening. His name is Mr. Matt Latimer. He is the coordinator of the Writing Center. And Matt will be talking with you about how to use the Writing Center for your academic success. Now we want to keep the evening engaging and we want the evening interactive. So along the way, if you have any questions, please feel free to put those questions in the chat. We will be checking the chat throughout the evening. And if you should dare, by all means, unmute yourself. We would love to hear you ask your question in your voice. So please feel free to engage with us in that way. Also, throughout the evening, we will launch several polls. These polls are anonymous and they help us to just better see how we can serve you a little bit better. So we ask that you engage with us in these polls. We will also do a Q&A at the end of the session. Now, if you would notice at the bottom of your screen, you will see several ways in which you can engage with us. Earlier, I talked a little bit about the chat, but if you get over here to reactions and you should press that button, you will again see several ways in which you can engage with us. And we ask you to use that particular feature as you need to throughout this session. Now, to get us started, Dean Ferris is going to come and he's going to say hello. And after he has shared hello, then he's going to give it back to me and I will open it up with our first poll for the evening. Dean Ferris.
Hi, thank you, Michelle, and welcome. We are so excited to have you here tonight. You know, we do this thing every week and we love doing it. It's a chance to engage with our students. You'll see this is relatively informal. We're just going to give you the lowdown on everything that's going on at the school and answer any questions you have. And I will say we love us some questions. We love questions. So, well, without further ado, Michelle, I'm going to send it back over to you. You can, I think you've got a poll you want to give. And
yes,
thanks
let's
so
go
much
ahead and
for
launch
coming
this
tonight.
first poll. And I'm going to launch the poll and ask that you go ahead and answer those questions, any of it that applies to you. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and end the poll and we will share the results. Enrolling in class, well, you have come to the right place on the right evening because we will be talking about just that. So to get us started this evening, we are going to give it over to an admissions representative. Her name is Marlena, and she will talk with us about the application process. Marlena?
Hello, and welcome to the Admissions and Records Office. This is the office where we're here to support you through the process of registration, certification, and documentation. Basically, your graduation, records maintenance, where we hold your transcripts and any other important documents that we ask you to submit to the college. We also evaluate your transcripts here in this office. And basically, you get your certification of enrollment here. We do a lot in this office for you. We can actually even enroll you in classes if you are having difficulties. This is the place where you would come if you need to submit forms, such as a FERPA form. We have a lot of students who work with their parents and other outside sources. And in order for us to communicate with you in any of our departments, which is financial aid, which is counseling, or any departments, we would ask you to fill out a FERPA form. This is an academic records form that we will hold for you, and it's basically a privacy act. So it lets us protect you and your records here at our office. So with that being said, we hold all of those forms that you may need, such as if you're under 18, you might need to submit a parent permission form, such as the FERPA form. All of those forms you will find at the Admissions and Records Office. If you were to do a search under our website, centralvirginia.edu, and if you click on the magnifying lens that's housed right next to My CVCC, if you type in admissions and records. A screen is going to come up and it's going to say welcome. All of the documentation that you're going to need is located on the left-hand side, and you can click on any of those links. And the link that you would click on for your FERPA form, very important, it's called downloadable forms. Once you click on that form, you can download any form that you need, such as the FERPA form that I'm speaking of, the application of tuition rates, we have that on there if you need those forms. We also have the determining independence and domicile applicants under 24. That form is if you are 24 and under and you live on your own and you take care of yourself, we're going to have to prove some stuff. So those forms are there for you. And it's important that you submit those forms to us at the Admissions and Records Office. Where you're going to submit those forms is called Student Records at central.edu. All of this stuff you can find on our website underneath where I told you to go, that pathway. So it's really important that if you have any questions, you contact our office and we can help you. You're also going to want to have your Social Security number in the system. That Social Security number is going to link you with your financial aid. If you are going to apply for financial aid, please, in your application, include your Social Security number, because that is going to get you going. And Terrell over in our financial aid department, he's going to get you going and talking about why it's important to have that Social Security number and what it does for your FAFSA and your financial aid if you choose to come here to Cvcc. So Terrell, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Thank you so much, Marlena. Hey, everyone. My name is Terrell Robertson. I'll be going over FAFSA application or any questions that you guys have about FAFSA. I'm going to share my screen. So first, we just do want to say welcome and congratulations to any seniors and parents that may be here today with us. And thanks for taking the time to talk to us about any of your problems or questions today. The first thing we do want to talk about is how to pay for college. And what you want to do is make sure you apply to the school, as Marlena said. When you are filling out the admissions and records application or admissions application, you do want to put your social on there. Your social is what is going to link to the FAFSA application to our school. So that social is very important, and you do want to make sure you have the correct social. And the next step is applying for the FAFSA application at www.fafsa.gov. That's going to get you, once you do that, you're going to create an FSA ID. And we're going to talk about how much it costs here at Cvcc per credit hour. So for in-state tuitions, tuition is $161.25 per credit hour. And for out-of-state tuition, it is $361.35 per credit hour. Once completing the FAFSA, if you are starting in August, you do want to make sure you are completing the 21 through 2022. That's going to start in August, and it's going to use tax information from 2019. After completing the FAFSA application, it does take 3 to 5 business days for us to receive. And you do want to, once you complete it, you want to start checking your SIS account to see if we're requesting any documents. Again, the FAFSA website is www.fafsa.gov. Once you go there, you are going to create a FSA ID, and that's going to help you log into the FAFSA. If you are under the age of 24, you're also going to have your parent create an FSA ID, so that way they may be able to electronically sign the FAFSA, as well as upload tax information through our data retrieval system. You can use the data retrieval system to upload taxes from the IRS directly to the FAFSA application. The type of financial aid that we post onto student counts are federal grants and state grants. We also do have scholarship grants, and I go over some of the grants and scholarships that we do have. As far as federal aid, we do have the Pell Grant, which is up to $6,345 for a full-time student each year, fall and spring, as well as the federal SCOG, that's $300. That's also split into half, 150, 150, fall and spring. We have the state grants, which is Commonwealth Grant, PTAP, and Virginia Community College Systems grant. The Commonwealth grant is up to $2,000 for students who are eligible and are taking at least 6 credits. PTAP is for 1 to 8 credits, and the eligible maximum is 1,500 for the whole year. As well as the VCCS grant is 1,000, which would be split up to 500 for the fall and 500 for the spring. And you can also apply for our scholarships on Cvcc's webpage. Our scholarship foundations, you may be eligible for many of scholarships. If you apply for one scholarship that may be eligible, you may be eligible for any of them. So there is one application that you can apply to. And not to mention also, since we want to talk about aid as well, if you're not eligible for any of that aid that's up there posted for our federal grants, state grants, or even scholarships, we do offer loans here. So you may be eligible for subsidized loans or unsubsidized loans. And if you don't want to take a look at loans, we also have tuition payments. You can make up payments within 3 to 4 throughout the year to pay for your tuition. And then I also have the steps listed here and to show you how to pay for that. You do want to log into your My Cvcc and go to your SIS. And once you go there, you're going to click Student Center. Under the Finances tab, you want to apply to payment plan, and they'll give you options. And if you have problems with that, you can contact accounting at 434-832-7639, and they should be able to help you with payment plans. The money question: can you use financial aid to purchase books or maybe even a laptop? The answer is yes. After tuition and fees, you are able to use any leftover money remaining in the bookstore up into $1,000. This goes up to any school supplies, laptops, or books that you may need towards your classes. The things that have changed is that we are moved into a new aid year, which would be the 21 to 22. So you can apply for aid for that semester that's been open since October. It's going to use tax information from 2019. If any of that information has changed due to COVID, please give our office a call while filling out the Fafsa application, and any of us would be able to help you with any of the questions or what to do in your next steps. And again, you can always contact our office. Our office hours are from 8 to 7 on Monday, 8 through 5 from Tuesday to Friday. Our phone number is 434-832-7814. You can also reach us at 7813. We also have our fax number, which is 434-932-7775. Also, I listed there our email. It is financialaid@centralvirginia.edu. Thank you so much for spending the time out with us today. And I'll be passing it over to Michelle for a quick poll.
Okay, before I do this quick poll, I'm going to pause and see if there are any questions. It doesn't appear to be any in the chat, but if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask at this time, we will be happy to entertain it. There's a lot of parts to financial aid. So if you would like to ask a question at this point, please feel free to do so. All right, if not, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to, with the second poll. Now, the second poll that I'm going to launch, what we're looking to get information about is whether or not you have the tools that you need for this coming semester to make sure that you are able to do well in all of your classes. And so we can see the results here. What I do want you to know as well is that we have a loaner program for laptops and hotspots. So if you are in need of a student with us and you're in need of a laptop or a hotspot to help you again, throughout your semester, please feel free to call us. As a matter of fact, I'll make it easy. Just call the counseling department and someone will be in touch and talk with you about how we can get those items to you to help you throughout your next semester. So given that, we're gonna now go in and we're gonna talk a little bit about programs and onboarding, how to get started. Matt Latimer, who is our special guest. Matt is going to come and talk with us right now. Matt is with the Writing Center. He's the coordinator for the Writing Center. And he's going to talk with us about how to use the Writing Center for your academic success. So let me give it over to Matt. Matt?
Thank you, Michelle. Good evening, everyone. And I'd like to start this just by saying that I was a student at Cvcc before I came back here to teach as an English professor and to run the Writing Center. And I would have, when I was a student, given anything to have this resource available to me. We have free of charge professional tutors, peer tutors. These are folks who have master's degrees and can help you with so many things, from your grammar to sentence structure to thesis statements, paragraph formation, narrowing down a topic, pretty much anything that you would need help with on a paper for any course, you can come to the Writing Center for help with that. It's not that it's limited to English or history or things like that. It certainly is not. If you're in a science class and you have a paper due and you need help, please come by. Or in this case, please email us and contact a peer or professional tutor and they will help you. The peer tutors, I'm particularly proud of this. We have around 8 peer tutors who work in the Writing Center. These are students who've done exceptionally well in English 111 and 112, and they're folks who are doing the same thing that you're doing as students. They're taking the same courses you're taking, they're doing the same things you're doing, and so they're able to relate to you really well and help you with those courses as well. One thing you'll find very helpful at the Writing Center is that you retain ownership of your work. And so the main goal that we have for you is for you to become a better writer, not just to get you a better grade. So when you come in or you make an appointment via email or however you're doing it, and we have a couple of modalities for that during this time, you'll find that you keep ownership of your writing process while the tutor helps and walks you through it, so that you actually are able to understand the issue that you have, as opposed to just having someone taking it, fixing it, and handing it back or passing it back to you. So you learn as you're moving along in the process with the tutors at the Writing Center. All of the tutors we have are extraordinarily personable, peer and professional. They are ready and willing and happy to help you, as am I. If no one else is available, I will help you. So please do stop by and see us. Thank you, and I will pass this back over to Michelle for a quick poll.
All right. Well, we are going to now do another quick poll, and let me see if I can get this right here. All right, sit tight with me. We are almost there. This poll that we're going to launch is asking, what programs of study are you interested in at Cvcc? So if you could go ahead and take that poll for us. All right. Okay, we'll go ahead and end that. Looks like it's emergency medical tech or paramedic. We're going to now have Leah Perry. She's going to come and talk with us about programs and Again, opportunities at CVCC. Leah? All right, look like we're having a little difficulty hearing Leah. Oh, there she is. Here we go. All right, very good.
Okay, so again, I apologize for that. And hi, my name is Leah Perry, and I'm a first-year navigator here at Cvcc. And we are so happy to have you this afternoon, and we definitely look forward to seeing more of you in the near future and months ahead, hopefully. One of the things that we do here in counseling is assisting you with your onboarding and your programs, and making sure you're in the correct classes for your program of study that you choose for your whether it's you want to go transfer to a 4-year or directly go out into the work field after you've completed your studies at CVCC. What we also do is we also make sure that you have your math and English capabilities to get into some of the classes that you need for your program of study. We can do that through your high school transcripts, placement test, or we can do adult placement if you meet the requirements for that. You would, of course, meet with one of us, the counselors or the navigators here in counseling, and we would go over everything with you to see what's best for you and your academic pathway. Some of the programs that we have, well, we have programs and classes listed on the website. And once you have gone to the website, you will see several tabs. If you go, if you would like to go to review any of our programs, you can click the programs and class tab. When you get to the program class tab, you'll see a list of our programs. We have programs sectioned off in appropriate tabs, such as, to start off, we have our business. And in the business, we have different programs in there. So you would click business if you were interested in business. We have education, we have health sciences, humanities and arts. We have industry and manufacturing, public safety, science and technology, engineering and math, and social science and behavioral sciences. And for example, if you clicked onto the health science pathway, and if you wanted to go to, say, for instance, the radiology program, which is popular here at CVCC, you would click onto the radiology program. And just as an outlook on the programs, when you get into the programs, you can kind of like see on the left-hand side of the screen, you would be able to see basically what the salary is for, say, for instance, a radiologist here in the local area. And that's always interesting because you can also go to manufacturing if you're interested in a manufacturing program such as machine tool, and you'd be able to see basically what the salaries start off is at a lot of our local industry here. Starts you off once you finish your program. And you could click that and kind of browse through it and see some different interesting things in there as well. Also, you'll be able to, in this section, to see what classes are listed in the programs that you need to take. Again, you would speak with an advisor so we can make sure that you're in the appropriate classes for the specific program that you of course are interested in taking. There's also a link at the website. Say, for instance, if you want to go to the radiology, if you're interested in applying to that program because it is a restricted program, if you click the link, it gives you the information that you need to apply to the restricted programs. It's in there with the deadlines and dates to apply as well. So that's important that you click that link so you can actually see when the deadlines are to apply to those programs. Because they are limited as far as accepting students. It's a certain amount that they take every semester, every year for the new semester. So it's really important that you make sure you meet the prerequisites for the program and apply before the deadline as well. There's also on the website, there's also a transfer section at the bottom of the screen that's provided if you would like to know what colleges we have our co-enrollments with. And that way you can read what the requirements are and what's needed for our college's articulation agreements. That also helps with knowing what classes and GPA you will need for your 4-year if you're trying to plan ahead to transfer to your 4 institution. Currently, we are still enrolling for our spring second 8-week classes. We are now enrolling for the summer semester, and April 15th, we will be enrolling for the fall semester. You can make an appointment to meet with an advisor or counselor through your Student Navigate and schedule a session to discuss your academic needs with them. And we definitely look forward to enrolling you in your classes, helping you along your pathway, and getting you set up for completion here at CVCC. And we look forward to talking to you at any time. And I am going to move this on to Deanne. She is our coordinator in student services.
Thank you, Leah. Can everyone hear me okay this evening? Great, thank you. Well, so I'm just going to give you kind of a quick overview of what we're doing in student life now that we have moved virtually. So when we did the whole move online thing, we had to find a way that we could still engage with our students in this virtual environment. So what we did is we created what we call a virtual student center within our Canvas system. And Canvas is where, when you come into CVCC and start taking classes, is where all of your class information is housed. So in there, we have set up our virtual student center where we've moved our bulletin boards. We have announcements in there. We have our activities are in there. We list a lot of our services in there. So we kind of make that your hub for your information. We also, one of the other things that you'll find opportunities for leadership. Every year, normally we only have one time a year, we'll have a student leadership conference. But because of us being in this virtual world, we're doing 2 of them. So we have another one coming up in March. So that's another opportunity that students would access through the virtual student center. We also do our activities through there. So there's a link in there for you to connect, whether it's via Zoom or if it's on YouTube or something like that. You would go through the virtual student center to connect to that. Like I said, the services that are free and offered to all students are listed in there. Some of the things that Marlena mentioned are in there. There's other services like we have like Matt talked about as well with the writing center. We have a math lab. For tutoring, we have a tutoring center. So all of those different services are also connected through the virtual student center, as well as you can access our library and things like that. So one of the other things you may see too is that if you've come on campus in the past, we had big activities and events like that. We're still doing those, but we're just doing those in a virtual environment without the food and a little scaled down. So you'll find different activities that you have normally seen on campus in the virtual student center as well. So that's kind of what we're doing for virtual activities while we're in the virtual environment. So if you have any questions for me, or if you need any help with anything as you're going through your process, any one of my colleagues here, including myself, will be glad to help you because we're here to make sure that you succeed. Thank you for joining us this evening, and I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle.
All right, thank you, panel. Thank you for some very good information. And we have come to the Q&A portion of the evening. And I'd like to open it up at this point to entertain any questions that our prospective students might have. Please feel free to put it in the chat, or again, use your voice, unmute and talk with us. We want to make sure that we have met your needs this evening in terms of getting those questions answered that you had when you chose to be a part of this evening. Any questions? Dee Ferris, do you have any questions? No
Oh, wait
question.
a minute. I was on mute there. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's so hard sometimes to come off mute. So Matt Latimer, the director of the Writing Center, what is the typical kind of student that you see use your service? Is it the struggling student, or is it the regular student that just wants to learn a little bit more and be a little better at their craft?
Honestly, I can't say that we really have a typical student, which is really great. We see students across the gamut. folks who are really struggling with or really having natural, they just have just an aversion to writing papers, which I can relate to because when I was a college student, I had the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
And so they come to us to get helpful tips on how to kind of overcome that. We have folks come to us for very specific issues with their writing, and we have folks that come to us that are already doing quite well and just want to do a little better, you know. And
Yeah.
so we have a nice eclectic mix, and I think all of them walk away a little better, certainly a little better off for having come and partaken of the writing center.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now, Terrell, when is the best time to do the FAFSA? Say if I want to come for, I don't know, next fall. When should I do it now or should I wait?
So it's best to do the FAFSA application now. It is limited with our state grants. So the earlier you are submit your FAFSA application, the quicker or the earlier we are to apply those funds to your account before the next person. So I would definitely say the sooner the better.
Yeah. And how about this? If I file my FAFSA early, am I likely to get more money than somebody that files it late?
You are. You are.
That's good advice there. So I probably want to go ahead and get that thing done, right?
Yes, you do.
Let's
And if
see.
anyone have questions while doing the FAFSA, you can also give our office a call and we can help you with those questions on the FAFSA. If you have anything that changed, most likely. Some things it change in the household and just raise a question. So if you have any questions, give our office a call and we'll be able to help you with that.
Yeah, thank you. Now, Deanne, did you have a question?
Yes, because actually this was a question that was asked to me just before we jumped on here, was about the plan for summer and fall. You know, are the classes still going to be virtual?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, our academic folks, our schedule builders, especially for fall. We'll talk about fall a little bit more. Summer's generally online for the most part anyway. We got a larger online population. Summer will probably look a lot like last summer, but fall, I will say that folks are hard at work because there will be more of a presence this fall than last. And so our folks are trying to build a schedule that accomplishes several things. We're going to come out of the gate with a little bit more of an in-person offering. But what we're also trying to do is build a schedule that, good Lord, willing, if we are able to come back to campus, that we can take our classes and flex them back to the classrooms. So that is a fantastic question. I can tell you in our hearts, we all want to be back. we miss our students and we miss this beautiful campus that you see behind me and Marlena and Terrell. We miss this place. So the faster we can get back, the better. But I can tell you, we will only do so when the safety is there. So that has been our guiding star on that. Great question. Any of you other guys, any of y'all have any other questions?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
All right, here we go. So Leigh, I want to ask if you could speak a little bit to the EMS program. I did see a poll where we had one student interested in that program, and just talk a little bit about that program and what they would need to do to move in that direction.
So if you're interested in taking, was it Haley that was interested in the EMS program?
Yes, I do believe that is so.
So is it just the emergency medical services that you're interested in?
You just speak to the EMS program and how to get started with that.
Okay,
She said
so
she'd like to move in the paramedic direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
say that one more time.
She'd like
Just-
to move into the paramedic direction.
Okay, so this program is basically designed for students definitely in the purpose of the program that's competent in the paramedic who can service the community, of course, with advanced life support. So the Central Virginia Community College paramedic program is accredited, of course, and we have that. So what you're going to do is definitely apply to the program itself. So you have to have your EMS first. So you would then go through your first part of that, which would be EMS 100, the EMS 111, and the 120. Once we get that, of course, we would definitely put you in contact with, what's her name over there again, Michelle?
Sandra
Sandra
Byer.
Byer, and she would go over some things that you would need to go into the program. Of course, you would do your prerequisites with us and our side, but we would then definitely transfer you over there to Sandra to get you set up. But before you do anything, of course, we want to get you set up with your EMS 100, EMS 111, and EMS 120 for one semester, and then move you towards speaking with Sandra over there in health sciences so they can get you. She would talk to you and go over a couple things with you, making sure that that it's really what you want to do, because it is very intense program, very long hours over there with the EMS. Definitely getting yourself acclimated to everything that goes in with preparation and fundamentals, and your basic pharmaceuticology and your airway shock and all kinds of other things that you have to take in that program, although it is intense. So they like to talk to you and get you, make sure it's something that you're really going to be committed to once you're in that program. But you would talk to us over here in accounting and academic counseling first, and we would put you in your program of study, make sure that you had your EMS 100, your EMS 111, and 120, your basic clinical and your EMT. And then we would, of course, get you in contact with Sandra over there in health sciences so you could talk to them over there, making sure that's really what you wanted to do once you got in. And they would then help you with your enrollment in those classes after we finished getting you in your EMS 100, 111, and 120 class.
Leah, can you be a point of contact, at least for right now? Put your information in the chat so Haley might be able to reach out to you.
Of course.
Okay. And Haley, do you have any questions that we can answer for you? Any questions, given what Leah just shared, that we can answer for you?
It's gonna look like I'm not looking at the screen, but I'm just gonna have to go to the other screen because
Okay.
the screen on the surface is real small and I can't see.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead then and kind of bring the evening to a close. We do have one more poll, and I'm gonna go ahead and launch that poll. And it is basically, did you find the information in this session helpful? What was the information session worth your time? And did you learn anything new about opportunities and programs at CVCC? So let's go ahead and launch that. All right, so it looks like this student definitely got what they needed, and the information session was indeed worth their time, and then they did indeed learn some new things here at CVCC, about CVCC. All right, anyone else on the panel have any thing else you want to share, you want to say before we bring the evening to a close?
Over Marlena, over in admissions and records, I wanted to make sure that we have a lot of information to expel over here in this department. So if I missed anything, make sure you visit our website and go to the admissions and records where you can see everything that we do and that we can be helpful to you exploring and navigating also through this thing called college. So we're all here to help. Just want to let you know, admissions and records, where all the important papers go.
All right. Well, thank you again, panel, for all that useful information. And to our prospective students, this information is on our website, and it is on our YouTube channel. So you can go and find these sessions there. And again, just look at this information again at your leisure. We thank you for joining us and have a good evening.